Okay, welcome again, everyone, to our parking garage webinar. As I introduced myself a little bit earlier, my name is Hannah. I am the marketing manager here at SLG Lighting. Now, normally I am not the one giving out these webinars, but it is my honor and pleasure to present to you two very exciting new products that we will feature here in our parking garage lighting webinar that you'll get to see soon. Before we begin, I do want to just some quick housekeeping is that due to the size of the participants, again, thank you for joining. We are going to have everyone muted until the very end. So at the very end, we will have a Q&A, and at that time, you will be able to unmute yourself and ask any questions. Also, if you have any questions during this webinar, please feel free to use the Q&A and type in any questions, and we'll also go through them, time allowing, at the end. Also, I'm not sure who's in front of their computer or who's on their phone devices calling in, but we do have some interactive polls that we'll be doing during this webinar, and that's just to get some feedback from our agents, from our distributors, and just to kind of see how we can serve your needs more. All right, now without further ado, our parking garage lighting webinar. All right, so here in a comparison between our LED technology versus the traditional lighting, I just want to point out that actually on the left, this is a recent application that was used by Residence Inn by Marriott in Houston, Texas. This is using our PG G1 fixture. And so when we compare a PG G1 fixture with the traditional lighting like fluorescent or metal halide, you can see that there is increased uniformity. There is a wider distribution. And so this removes some of the dark spots that you can see with the older traditional lighting. So in addition to the fact that LED, of course, is more reliable, it is more energy efficient. Also, there is a slight uplight. I don't know if you can see it from the image, but there is a slight uplight in our PGG1 compared to the traditional lighting fixtures that's shown in the in the middle and the left images. Now for this webinar, we're going to feature on our round parking garage, and that includes the PGG1 and PGG2, which is our newest product that we recently released. Also is the linear parking garage, which includes the PLG1 and of course the new VPG. And the VPG is our versatile parking garage. And so in this webinar, we'll go into why we gave it this name and why this product is truly unique. So some of the key features for the parking garage generation 2 is the improved heatsink. And this is because this product has a slightly larger housing compared to Gen 1. Also very, very easy to install, saving the contractor time and resource. And because, again, of the larger housing, it is more convenient. So this product, we can install an internal motion sensor as well as an internal emergency battery backup. And again, this product is specifically designed for parking garage applications. Now, when we compare the performance of the PGG1 and PGG2, you can see that in generation 1, we have the 45 watt and the 60 watt with a lumen output ranging from 5,000 to 7,100. And in Gen 2, what we have done is we have extended the lumen package so that way we can provide a broader range for the 1-for-1 replacement for metal halide. And so that is from 100 watt all the way to 250 watt. And again, just to kind of give a clear differentiation between these two generations, the Gen 2, of course, has a higher efficiency of 127 lumens per watt. Also, both of these products use a lumen LED chip. However, the PGG2 uses an upgraded version of the same chip. And so we can see that in the higher performance. Now, just a comparison, again, between the different look. Obviously, G2 has what I like to call a halo lens, right? The lens is designed differently. And so the difference in the design helps to reduce glare. And this is something that the Gen 1 does not have. Both of these lenses are made with polycarbonate. Again, the replacement is for the Gen 2 is from 100 watt to 250 watt, and for PGG1 is only 150 to 175 watt. In addition, because DLC, they do every so often put out more stringent requirements. The G2 does meet the DLC Premium 5.0 requirements, whereas a PGG1 is rated the DLC Premium 4.4. And again, the housing is only about 1 inch wider in diameter. And so that extra housing does help with the heat dissipation. Now, when we open and look closely into the Gen 1 and Gen 2, you can see that the larger housing, of course, can have the internal emergency battery backup installed. I do also want to point out that in the past, we have used a Fulham driver, and now we're able to produce our own. And so that's actually something that we create. And then in addition, the driver that we use, this is different than Gen 1, is that it has an optional 12 volt DC output for FSP202 sensor, which is our low voltage sensor. And then the G1 uses a FSP212. And so the difference is that the driver in Gen 2 has the optional 12 volt DC output. Also in Gen 2, we do have HVU options, whereas G1 only comes with the standard 120 to 277 volt. And in the image in the far left, you can see that in the past with the G1, because the housing was not large enough to house the emergency battery kit, it had to be installed externally. Now let's take a closer look at these photometric reports comparing the PGG1 to PGG2. So from the naked eye, we can clearly see that the average foot candle has increased about 15% in PGG2. Also in the illustration to the very right, the green represents the PGG1 and the red represents the Generation 2. We can see that the Gen 2, there is a wider distribution. And so again, that's going to have more uniformity, that's going to have a wider spread. And this is something that is desired for a parking garage application where being able to see so security and safety is necessary, is a must. And again, both of these fixtures, they do exceed the recommendations set by IES for a 10-foot candle minimum for the horizontal illuminance. Design for SLG, we do have a junction box that can be installed on the mounting plate. And what this will do is this will allow you to make that connection right at the junction plate instead of having to special any lead wires, especially if you have different pendant mounting heights. And so this is just to show how easy it is to install the PGG2 for a surface mount. You simply loosen and remove the screws that hold the mounting plate. And then of course you screw it to the ceiling. And in step 2, you're going to simply connect the clip on the back to the spindle that's on the mounting plate. And then step 4, you're going to connect the wires. And then step 3, you're going to connect the wires, of course. And then step 4, you're going to simply push the fixture on the suspension loop of the mounting plate and then lock the screws finally to complete the installation. Now, our other new product that we have is the Versatile Parking Garage Gen 1. This is our linear parking garage. And so some of the key features I want to point out about this product is that it is vandal-proof with tamper-proof screws. Also, this is impact resistant. It is designed with a very rugged 2-piece die-cast aluminum housing. And you can see that we have an advanced thermal management for convective and conductive cooling. And so there's airflow that goes through the housing, as you can see in the product image. Also, there are 3 mounting options for this fixture, and we do have 2 different distribution options depending on what your application needs are. And so I'll go into more detail on the next few slides about the 2 different distribution options. So just a performance comparison with our VPG and our PL. So the VPG only comes in 2 feet, whereas our PL comes in 2 feet and 4 feet. You can see that with the VPG, there is a higher efficacy. Also, there is a higher lumen output. And so it's a very powerful, higher performing fixture compared to the PL G1. Also, the VPG is rated DLC Premium, whereas the PL G1 is DLC Standard. And so you can also see the difference in range for the metal halide replacement. Now, when you take a look at this comparison of the photometric reports between the VPG and the PL, it doesn't look like there is that much of a difference. However, we are comparing a 4 feet, 60 watt PL fixture to a 2-foot 45 watt VPG fixture. So even at only half the size of the PL, it is producing almost the same average foot candles as the PL, and it's also doing it at a much lower wattage. And so this is this again just shows how much more powerful, what a better performance the VPG has over PL. And so it is our upgraded product. And again, if you look at the illustration, the comparison illustration on the very right, you do see just the different distribution. So the VPG has almost the same reach and spread as the PL 4-foot. And of course, both of these fixtures, they exceed the minimum recommendations set by IES for a parking garage application. Now, just kind of a final comparison between these two products in our linear parking garage category. So the PL has the 2 feet and 4 feet. It is designed with a fiberglass housing and acrylic lens. And the replacement range for metal halide is between 100 watt to 175 watt. With a VPG, it is 2 feet only. However, it comes with a 2-piece die-cast aluminum housing with an advanced thermal management for conductive and convective cooling. It is also vandal-proof with tamper-proof screws and impact resistant. And it has the 2 different distributions that I'll show in the next slide. It also has a polycarbonate lens, so a much stronger lens material, and it provides a metal halide 1-for-1 replacement between 150 watt to 250 watt. One other key feature I want to mention about the VPG is that there are 3 locations on the housing for knockouts. And so there is, the third one is on the side of the fixture, where if you were to do a continuous row illumination mounting, the third location you can use to install an external motion sensor or our very own Bluetooth motion sensor. And so that's just going to be more convenient for you, for the end user. Now, the key difference between the VPG and the VLB. The VLB stands for our versatile low bay, but it can also be used for general distribution. And so the VPG and VLB, the key difference, of course, is the LED module. So on the left, we have the LED modules placed at closer to the edges of the fixture, whereas the VLB, the modules are placed directly down the fixture. And so with the VPG, we have a nice rectangular distribution. Again, DLC premium with a wide beam spread. So this is something that we can use for a parking garage application to light up the lanes. For the VLB, we would recommend this product to be used for the entranceway for parking garage. As we know, for the parking garage entrance, it is recommended that the light must be have a narrow beam spread, so that way as the driver enters the parking garage, it is easy for their eyes to adjust, so that way there's less risk that they can cannot see. And so the VLB has a DLC standard rating, and again, like I said, the narrow beam spread that is ideal for the entranceway for a parking garage. Now, for both the VPG and VLB, we have 3 different mounting options. We have the V-hook suspended mount, the surface mount, and the pendant mount, which is not pictured on this slide. The V-hooks and surface plate are sold separately, but this product comes standard with a mounting bracket. So just an example of how easy it is to install this fixture is that this fixture comes with a spacer provided to save the contractor or electrician time from measuring and having to precisely place the screw holes. With this spacer, you can easily measure the mounting bracket, and then afterwards you screw the mounting brackets to the ceiling, lock the housing to the mounting bracket with screws. In step 3, simply connect the wires. And of course, step 4, you want to secure the LED module to the housing with the 6 latches on the sides. And of course, ensure water does not enter the fixture at any time. Now, this is just an overall comparison of our parking garage fixtures. So we have our 2 round parking garage fixtures, which is the PG G1 and PG G2. And you can see the difference in lumen range as well as the replacement at the top. For the PL G1 and VPG, you can see again that the VPG has a higher performance. And then over on the very far right corner where we have lumen per dollar, that's just an idea to help you understand that the cost if we're using lumen per dollar. And so our recommendation, of course, is that the newer products such as the PGG2, the VPG G1, they're going to be your best value. They use an advanced heat sink. There is either a larger housing for more heat dissipation. Also, there's going to be more features. It's designed to be even more specifically for a parking garage application. And also, I just want to mention the FAO accessory that you see in the column under 100 watt metal halide. And so I'll go into that in more detail in the next slide. So our FAO is the field adjustable output, and I'm sure some of you already recognize this accessory. This is in our HX High Bay Extreme spec, and so many of our end users have asked for this particular accessory, especially if the lumen output is too high. And so with this accessory, we can either assemble it for you here in Houston, or you also have the ability to adjust the settings using a slot screwdriver at the field. And so if you take a look at the table to the far right, this is just an approximation of the lumen output. So between 0 to 9, and so if you go all the way down to 9, it'll be 60% of the lumen output. Again, if there is a specific lumen output that you're trying to achieve, please don't hesitate to call us and ask, and we will do, of course, everything in our best to meet your specific lighting needs. And again, the FAO, it is compatible with a majority of our products, such as the area lights, wall packs, high bays, troffers, but specifically the FAO connects to the 0 to 10V dimming driver. So as long as the product has 0 to 10V, it will be able to be compatible with this accessory. So here we have two main lighting layouts for a parking garage application. And so I just want to share some of the advantages and disadvantages for both. So with a single luminaire layout, as you see at the top, we would recommend a linear parking garage, such as the PL or the VPG at 2 feet. And so the advantage, of course, is that there is less need for equipment compared to a double luminaire layout. Also, there's going to be less labor time and installation and potentially less energy consumption. Some of the disadvantages, of course, is that because the luminaire is placed along the drive path, there is more glare for the driver. Also, the shadows cast on outside walls from the parked cars. In addition, the lighting uniformity may not be optimal compared to a double luminaire layout. So in the second half, with the double luminaire layout, we have the PGG2. And so the advantages are, of course, better coverage of light, better uniformity, and there's going to be less chance of glare for the driver because the luminaires are along the periphery. Some of the disadvantages are you're going to have, of course, double the number of fixtures, and so that's going to mean more labor time installation. Also, if you are installing sensors per luminaire, that's going to increase your cost as well. And there could potentially be more energy use with this layout design. Now, of course, if you have any questions or concerns at all for a parking garage lighting or any lighting layouts, please contact our customer service and we can direct you. We have an in-house electrical engineer, product manager, and we are more than happy to address any needs, any projects you have, and come up with a lighting layout that is specific to you, to what you're looking for. And again, because for a parking garage, there are, of course, different areas, and different areas require different lighting, such as the ramp, stairway, or entrance. This is just to show that with a PG G2, you can use this fixture, again, for the double luminaire layout, as we discussed in the previous slide. With a VPG being our linear parking garage, you can use this for a single luminaire layout. And we do recommend the VLB for the entrance for a parking garage, because it does have that narrow beam spread that's going to, again, make it easier for the driver to enter the parking garage, especially if they're coming from during the day. All right, so here, this is just for our PG G2. We're just comparing the FSP 202 sensor, which is a low voltage sensor. And so we want to show the 202 sensor, a traditional motion sensor, compared with our Bluetooth controls. This is our EFS 107 sensor. And so the features for the FSP 202 is the bi-level dimming, the daylight sensor, and of course a 12-volt DC input. And that is the main difference for the PG-G2 driver, is that it does have this option. And so this sensor, of course, must be installed individually. Now, with our Bluetooth sensor, we do have continuous dimming, daylight harvesting, as well as the 12-volt DC input. But in addition, because it works with our Bluetooth control system, these sensors, when they're connected, will create a Bluetooth mesh network that will be able to communicate with nearby fixtures. And so also we do have a Bluetooth app that you're able to schedule, to create schedules for these fixtures, as well as group and place them in zones. And so that's just one of the many features of our Bluetooth control system. And of course, if you do want to look more into our Bluetooth control system, feel free to contact us, visit our website. We also have a fantastic control webinar that's on our YouTube channel. And so if there's any more questions you have, we do have resources available. Now, our external motion sensor, this is for our VLB or VPG. This is comparing the LRD, which is a smart dim occupancy sensor, compared with something similar for this fixture, which is the EFS 104 Bluetooth mesh fixture sensor. And so again, just going back into that fact that with the Bluetooth sensor, because it is able to connect to our Bluetooth control system, you do have that greater control. You are able to set specific settings to your fixture to meet whatever specific parking garage needs you have. And this is just to show an illustration. As you can see on the top, we have a traditional motion sensor. The sensor will detect motion and turn on to maximum brightness individually, whereas with a Bluetooth control system, because we can group these fixtures together, as soon as one senses motion, then the fixtures in that group can turn on. And of course, there's even more greater controls with our Bluetooth control system. And so we do have resources. If you have any questions about implementing this in your application, please do not hesitate to give us a call. And of course, there is that potential for greater energy savings. And so this is just to show a sequence of operation using the Bluetooth control with the daylight harvesting sensor. And so you can see that there is a 5-minute delay. And so if there is no motion that's detected, then you can actually schedule the amount of time that you want the lights to either ramp down, and then you can set the minimum for the fixtures. And then of course, as soon as motion is detected, then there can be a 3-second ramp up. So this is just another example of how the Bluetooth control system would work with the fixtures. And in addition, this does meet the IES recommendations, and it complies with IECC 2018, OSHRAE 2016, and Title 24 2019. Now here I just have 3 different options, and as you can see, most of these do meet the requirements set by these 3 different organizations, except for option 1 during daytime, if the fixture remains at dim level all through the day, regardless of the motion sensor. And so the rest of the different settings, again, you can set very easily with the Bluetooth control system, but the motion sensor will also comply to these 3 different organizations. Now, a little bit about what makes SLG unique. So SLG Lighting, we are a true LED manufacturer. We have over 20 years of manufacturing history. If you go to our website, it is very easy to see the videos that we took last year showing our manufacturing plant and the process that goes into making each and every fixture. We also go through rigorous testing before launching any products, and most of our products are either DLC or DLC Premium certified or Energy Star certified. Also, it is very easy to check for rebates for all of our products. If you go to our website, on every product page, there will be a link that says check rebates, and that'll take you directly to either that DLC certification or the Energy Star certification. In addition, all of the products that I presented to you today in this webinar has a 10-year warranty. And with that 10-year warranty, it does have a best-in-class 1-year labor warranty. And of course, we like to come out with new product innovations every quarter. So we're constantly upgrading and updating our technologies and improving upon our fixtures. Now, this webinar is the first of many to come, so please keep an eye out for more webinars, more mini courses explaining the difference in our products and how our products can help you serve your lighting needs. And so we do have a website if you want to register. If you want to register later, we'll have more information on the site. And so the URL is school.slgus.com to register, and here is a screenshot of our website. We will have an upcoming Sparta Sports Light coming up by our National Accounts Manager, Todd Crone of Sports Lighting. If you have any sports lighting opportunities, please feel free to email him. I place his email here on the slide, todd.crone@slgus.com. Now, at the end of this webinar, I will be sending everyone a short survey, and so you'll receive it in your email. Please just take a few minutes just to answer the survey, so that way we can continue to improve our webinars and provide more valuable information to you, as well as cater to whatever specifically it is that maybe you would like us to share in our next webinars. There will be 10 prize winners. Now, before we get into our Q&A, I do actually have a few polls that I'm going to launch. So 1 second. And so if you are in front of your computer right now, please answer the following question. This is actually a multiple choice, so you can actually choose more than one. So this is for interior lighting. Please choose the most popular CCT option in your market. And again, this will just help us to sufficiently stock the CCT that is most popular. And again, if you have any comments, questions, please feel free to send them in the chat. Okay, I'm just going to give a few more seconds to see if anyone else wants to jump in. Okay. All right, so I just want to share the results. So you can see here that the most popular for interior lighting is 35K. And again, if you have any comments you want to make about your choice or anything that you want to add to your answer, feel free to send it in the chat to the panelists or to all the attendees. And then after that is the 4,000K. So thank you, that is great. All right. And now let's just quickly see what the results are for exterior lighting. So again, this is a multiple choice. Feel free to choose 2 or 3 options. All right, very good. I'm seeing 4K winning the race. All right, I just want to share the results of it with everyone. So for exterior lighting, it's mostly 4,000K, and then after 4,000K, 5,000K. And so we do stock both of those. All right, and then of course the last one for our upcoming webinar after the sports lighting webinar, if there is any product categories that you're particularly interested in SLG diving deep and providing more information on, please make your choice. This is only a single answer. Okay, all right, fantastic. And I'm going to share the results with everyone. So here I'm seeing that, yes, I think that we can definitely give more information with our architectural product series. Our design series, they really are very unique fixtures, very, very affordable. And so, yes, I agree. I think that would be a great webinar for the next one after the sports lighting. Now I'm going to open it up for Q&A. Feel free to put any questions in the Q&A box or send any or type any questions in the chat box. Also at this time, we will unmute you. So we will unmute you. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask it verbally as well. Mm-hmm. So I do see one question by someone that asked if this can be used with a separate 0 to 10V dimmer. Any chance to see a limelight by Lutron sensor in the near future? So that's something that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just allowed to talk. Yeah.
Yes, the full fixture is all. The driver comes with 0 to 10 volts, which is a purple and gray output. You can use a 0 to 10 volt dimmer to dim down the fixture. As I know, the limelight by Lutron sensor has external and internal 2 style, which can mount to our PG or the linear PL or VPG fixture. It both can work with our fixtures.
Mm-hmm. Yes, to answer a question, this presentation will be sent out next week. Also, in the future, all of our webinars are actually going to be at the school.slgus.com. And so if you are interested in watching previous webinars or seeing our schedule for the upcoming webinars, please register. And that's where we're actually going to try to place all of our material, as some of the material that we are sharing with you today could be sensitive. And so we just want to make sure it doesn't end in the wrong hands. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. And so if you, does everyone have the ability to talk? If you do have a question that you would like to ask verbally, please, I don't know if you see the function, but if you can just raise your hand in the, I believe it's going to be in your participation window. And so we will unmute you, and then you can just feel free to ask the question. So we are slowly allowing each user the option to mute and unmute. And so please feel free to, again, if you have a question, ask us. We'll wait to give anyone an opportunity. All right, while we are waiting for any questions, I'm going to see if I can share with you our website. We do have some exciting new features coming soon. And so one will be a quick ship page that we are particularly excited about, just to show that we do have very healthy inventory levels on the majority of our products. So let me see if I can share some things. And of course, again, feel free to ask any questions if anything pops up.